Folks, today I thought I'd talk just a minute about the raised bed garden that I have behind here and why you might want to choose to do a raised bed garden on your own. For one thing, they look really nice and they're not that hard to fix. This one over here that is rock, or it's actually blocks. I've got these blocks at Lowe's. This one was fairly expensive. I probably built it for about $1,000. And all I did was, this was all grass here at one time. I wish I could show you. It's every bit like that grass over there that needs to be mowed right now. So every bit of this was just a big yard when I first bought this house in 2010. And I wanted to, instead of just having a big old huge area to mow, I wanted to get something I could eat off of it and just something that was pretty and something we could enjoy. And so I kind of, I don't know, decided I would do this sort of little loopy thing here that I've done. I won't say that it's very artistic or anything, but what I did was I took a tiller and I tilled out a big area here. I just dug really kind of down into the ground so I could make almost like a footing for it, but it wasn't deep. I just got all the grass and stuff up. And I put some pebbles like what we see here, this little pea gravel that I have, underneath those blocks so I could level them up. And I just laid them in there. There's no mortar or anything holding that together. That was just in case we ever decided we needed to move this or anything for some reason. So it's totally mobile. I can dismantle it. The soil up here on Mineral Springs Mountain is very rocky, and I don't think it's very rich. It's not the kind of stuff you want to grow vegetables in for the most part. So I imported soil and brought it into this. This is some river bottom kind of soil, and then I mixed it with Miracle Grow. So there's sort of a mixture there, and every year I throw a few extra bags of Miracle Grow into this, and it does really well. So you can see kind of how this one turned out. It was expensive to make, but basically just locking these blocks and stuff together and filling it up with some dirt. There's probably, gee whiz, probably 1.5 feet or so of dirt in there. But not super expensive to do, and everything loves it. And it's just high enough, you can see here, that it keeps me from having to bend over so far to weed, and there are a few weeds in there. You can usually weed a raised bed like this pretty quickly. Now, so this one was probably 2012 as I put this one in the ground. We started growing here. The next year, I decided I wanted another one. And so I did this, and I've been just kind of toying with the idea of doing cross ties. I didn't really want to do another raised one, though. I wanted to do, I tell you what I did want to try. I realized that peppers grew pretty well here, actually very well, in the native soil on this hill. So I made this one sort of an in the ground raised bed, and it's just barely raised. As you can see, I made this little trough down the middle that I can walk in. So this might be an idea you'd like. And once again, it's up about 10 inches higher than the rest of the yard. And it turns out that spinach loves this kind of soil. So this is a mixture of the soil that's here. You can see that kind of red stuff. And I mixed some Miracle Grow in it and a little bit of the river soil as well, the lowland soil. So this is a mixture. Squash seems to like it. Peppers totally love it. Spinach loves it. Kale loves it. So we put those kinds of things over here. The tomatoes actually like it. The asparagus seems to like that really nice rich soil over there, and we have put some squash and stuff over there. We've at various times grown cucumbers there. We've grown cantaloupes in this. And we kind of done some crazy little toying around, messing around. This gravel here, you can get these, at least in the southeast here, you can get this kind of gravel almost anywhere that sells, that sells soils and mulches and stuff like that. So this is done pretty well. We actually put underneath this, to save money, is a lot of newsprint. I went to the local newspaper and I bought what they call end rolls. So this is 2 years. You see some grass is coming up through, and I'd spray it with, I sprayed this morning actually with Roundup to get rid of the crabgrass. But all in all, the newsprint, about 7 or 8 layers of it thick. You can buy an end roll for about $5 at your local newspaper, and it's got a whole lot of newsprint on it, about 3 feet wide, or 2.5 feet wide. And we just spread all that out and put the rocks on top of it. And yeah, there are some things growing up through it. You just have to keep them sprayed, and it does really well. So not a whole lot of maintenance. Now this is totally in the ground, and here you can see the weeds and stuff coming up in the sweet potatoes. These are all sweet potatoes. However, usually the sweet potatoes do okay, even in with the weeds. And every year I try to get all the weeds out of this, but it's going to come up. And I don't go in there and weed a whole lot, because if I walk around on that soil, it does compress it, and the potatoes don't grow as well down into the soil, the sweet potatoes. But yeah, so these are some ideas. This one over here, once again, same kind of method. I actually took a mattock and I dug every bit of that out, and I have a video of myself. It's called a human tiller, I guess is what it's called, where it shows where I dug all this out with a mattock, every bit of it, and then I made this raised bed out of it. Those are just treated 2x4s. They don't look like, they look kind of wetted, but those are not 2x4s, 2x10s. Might be 2x12s. I think they're 2x12s there in the middle. And then these are like $10 a piece for these cross ties. So you can see I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 cross ties, so only 80 bucks. And then whatever it costs to get those metal stakes there to hold the 2x12s back. So yeah, what are the advantages? Easier on your back. You get that separation from the grassy areas to keep the weeds and stuff out as best you can. Doesn't take long to weed this. You can see some crabgrass coming up in there. I'll just go in there in 10 minutes. I can have all that weeded out. The other thing, you can totally control your soil mix, and it's pretty, isn't it? That's kind of the thing that we like, is it just it made an area that we didn't have to mow anymore. We actually get to eat from it, and it's right pretty. And of course, over here you can see I'm doing another rock treatment, but this is not for this is just for a area where we do little cookouts and stuff. And I have much to do here to finish up. As soon as I get all my rocks spread out, I'll be tucking that weed barrier down underneath the rocks so you can't see it. So yeah, this is sort of my little world and our little way of doing a raised bed garden. It's been very successful. This is the 3rd year. Like, awesome way to grow some food and enjoy it. She put that little pencil bush in there to try to nurse it back to life. It was dying. Looks like it might be going to give up the ghost, but we'll see. There you go, folks, from Mineral Springs Mountain in the foothills of western North Carolina. This is Tony. Peace, and send me any questions or maybe comments of ways that you do raised bed gardening, maybe better than us. Help us out here. Y'all take it easy.